All right, we're here with Jeff Muncher, Octavio Brito, and head coach Ryan Cain of Keene State. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Cain, and then we'll start with some questions just for the players, so then we can get them out first, and then we'll do questions for Coach Cain, and then we'll send them on to Coach Cain. If you have an opening statement.
I just want to congratulate Baruch on a tremendous season. I had a chance to watch a lot of film on those guys, and on both ends of the floor, that's as disciplined of a basketball team as we played against all year. They do what they do, and they do it really well, and they do it possession by possession. They're extremely well coached. They have a lot of talented and tough players. We have a very difficult team to prepare for and play against. Awesome season by that program. We had a couple chances to open the game up, and credit to them. They just kept fighting. They just kept playing. They made some big plays to keep it close. I'm really proud of our effort tonight. And I thought our guys played, very tough, very together, very unselfish. Obviously helps when you have two guys sitting next to me that combined for probably pretty close to 60 points. We didn't necessarily shoot it as well as we could have, but I thought overall our defensive intensity, despite some breakdowns one-on-one, was overall pretty good. But credit to Baruch. Congrats on a great year. But really proud of the effort from these guys tonight. It's on the team. And obviously these guys in particular as well.
All right, we'll have questions for Octavio and Jeff.
For either one, as coach was just saying, at one point you guys were up by 19, and it looked like you might blow the doors off the gym, and they just walked back again. What goes through your minds? Is there all of a sudden it's back down 11, 12, or it kind of hung for most of the second half when it looked like it could have gone up to 30 just as easily? Does it weigh on you? Do you think about it, or you just keep playing?
It definitely weighs on us, but not in a negative way. We just realize that we have to tighten up our defense and ball screen coverages or whatever it is.
When we talked about it at halftime, it was just like both teams only have 23 minutes left, so everybody's going to throw their best punch at you. So a team like Baruch that just has no quit and they're all playing for the rest of the season, they go so hard that it's no coincidence that they give us a little punch in the face, and it's how you respond to adversity. So I thought we responded well. It was just about keep doing what you're doing. We're not worried about the scores. Process.
Octavio, you're a player that several times this season you've gotten hot early, haven't really looked back. How important is it to see some of those shots go in early in the game?
It was great to have a bounce back game. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but I'm happy the ball was going in. If the ball wasn't going in, I'll still go play the same way on defense. So we don't try to let our offensive individual stats impact the other end.
It's Jeff. Octavio. How do you as a player know when to go up for a shot and try to draw a foul, or when to pass out of the post to an open player? And is passing out of the post something that you personally work on?
I just kind of let the game come to me. There's not really much thought to it. If I see somebody open, I'm more than willing to pass the ball to them. If I think I don't get a layup and shoot like that, so that's the best players. I'll try to get there sometimes.
They played a lot of zone, and I assume it's not something you see that much. Left a lot of guys open, and you guys didn't. I know you guys struggled a little bit from the outside. Did you expect it? Did you know they played a lot of zone?
Definitely coach prepared us. He told us the zone was coming. I think the shots we had were great shots. They didn't fall tonight, but I bet you we're going to fall tomorrow if they play zone. Keep playing that zone. It was dangerous.
And for Jeff, working a little bit off of that, the zone looks that you've got, you tend to be in a spot where your heels are to the baseline. Is that where you're most comfortable being against? Is that the most comfortable spot for you when the other team is showing you guys zones?
I like to play there. For me, it's just a quick spot that I can get up and get around the rim before. I think our players make great plays that they get me the ball, in spots where I don't really have to think much besides trying to put it in the hoop. So, that's like a good spot that I like to go to. I know Coach wants me to post up a little bit more, but sometimes I like to give a little stress and stay on that dunker spot on the feet on the baseline.
I'm going to basically ask Octavio the same question, but I'll ask this instead. How much would you say that your defense fuels your offense as a player?
100%. 100%. We get easy buckets off our defense. I feel like every time we're locking up, I feel like we get even better shots on offense. We're getting layups. It's good to see the ball go to the rim. type to shoot that three. That's what I was talking.
It went for 51, by the way.
Close. Pretty close.
Any more questions for Jeff and Octavio?
Real quick, what are you guys gonna do for the next 20 hours? What's it gonna be like?
Hydrate, eat, wash with film, and do it all over again tomorrow.
All right, Jeff, Octavio, thank you. Both can head out. Just keep those a few more minutes. All right, questions for Coach Cain?
Just wanted to dig in a little more with the zone. Did you knew you were gonna get some outside looks at it, and did you get the shots you wanted and it just weren't falling? Was it that simple, or was it more?
Yeah, I think it's generally that simple. You know, these guys played about 40% zone all season long. During their championship game, they played man for the first 9 minutes of the game, and in the last 31 minutes of that championship game, they played 2-3 zone. So we definitely knew it was coming. Basically, we practiced 50-50 all the way through our preparation for these guys zone and man. Obviously, Octavio didn't really matter if it was man or zone. He felt pretty good. He found a spot. I mean, he's got unlimited range. Like that shot he took from almost the volleyball line. In our opinion, is a good shot for him. I've said it before. We'll say it again. We'll let him shoot if he's open. That's just what he does. He's a great player. Spencer Mason gets some great looks. We'll take those shots every single time. We just want them to keep their head up, stay confident, shoot the next one like they made the last one. So, a little stagnant a couple times against the zone, but trying to throw us off, going man to zone, I think worked to some extent. Obviously, some stretches we were able to get some easy ones. But, we're hard to play against depending on the type of personnel that you have to match up with us. So that can be a way to get us a little bit out of
Coach, and we're going to look forward to tomorrow for you guys a little bit. I saw you in the crowd today for pretty much all of the Widener Tufts game. What about Tufts sticks out to you?
Yeah, I mean, they're fantastic defensively. They have lots of really good players, but I think they hang their head on the defense before. Good offensive team too. But the size and the way they guard, I think, is what makes them who they are. They force teams to play in the half court. They have some really talented guys. They have Kid Zero is probably as good as anyone who's played all year. He's had some huge games. He's a difficult cover. Combine that with Spencer's brother. He's pretty dynamic and pretty aggressive and pretty confident.
He's a scrappy player.
He's a very scrappy player. He runs in the family. They're a difficult cover. They're a difficult matchup. They're hard to score on. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's in some ways some contrasting styles there, and then in other ways some similarities. But obviously the size versus the quickness and athleticism is going to be interesting to see how those two things balance against each other. How can we play those guys that are as big as they are, that like to, set some ball screens and roll and play out of the post a little bit? Is it something we can guard one-on-one? Do we need to, do a little bit more to make it harder for them in those spots? So, we'll take a look at some more of their stuff, have a decent feel from them already. They're the type of team that's really good year in, year out. You catch some of their games throughout the season. So I definitely watched them play throughout the year. And, we've done a little bit of prep work leading into this. We try not to look past your first round game, but the job is to come here and try to win 2 games. So we don't want to be totally unfamiliar with your potential upcoming opponents. So we definitely have a decent feel for these guys. We'll maybe the players a little later and go over some of what we think we can do against these guys that can be effective and what we need to take away.
When you prepare, do you have one of your staffers zero in on that first game, those two opponents?
Yeah.
While you prepare for your game, you put him aside and say, you got this.
Yeah,
give us a report, and then we'll go from there.
We definitely had, a guy on staff and actually a couple guys on staff, watching everything, And once we had our preparation for Baruch really in order, I was able to take a look at both of those teams as well, using, what my staff had put together kind of as a baseline to look at it. But, some years it's a little bit easier than others. The fact that we were home, I think, may have made that preparation slightly easier. We're not on the bus as long, and you're not dealing with some of the things that go with traveling, going out to eat for every meal, not sleeping in your own bed. things of that nature that I think may put us in a better position to prepare for that second opponent. But, definitely a lot of work by the staff, a lot of time spent on all these teams. We just got reports for all three prepared by staff members. And then, I kind of supplemented that work with some stuff myself. So we have scouts ready to go, we film ready to go. We'll be in a good place, get ready for these guys, feel confident. We played, back-to-back this year. There was a challenge for us last year, in my opinion, playing in the NCAA tournament. We did not play back-to-back all season long last year. This year we did it. We went out to Indiana, we played Maryville and Marietta, two high-level Division III teams. So I think that put us in position. We have some confidence going through a game like this. Last year on the second day, we probably played our worst game of the season in that moment. I'm hopeful that we'll get our best tomorrow.
We have time for one more question.
So you talked about scouting a little bit. I assume you did a lot of scouting on Baruch before this game. Was there a plan to be more aggressive down low today because they didn't seem to play that physical, or from what at least we could see, or were you just taking what the defense gave you?
Yeah, I think we felt like there was some opportunity for Jeff, and I'm not even sure if if it matters necessarily if it's a tall or small or something in between. But I'd say, I wouldn't say interior defense was the strength of their team. It was the fact that they wouldn't let you get in the paint. I think you can probably see when they played man-to-man. You're going to get some early shots. You're going to be able to, figure out whether the right shot for you, but you're not going to drive the ball in the paint. It's just not going to happen. But I think where you could get them a little bit is throwing the ball in the post. So I don't know how much we did that necessarily. We did it once or twice when they went man in the second half, where Jeff got a touch and got fouled or something where they did go man to man. But a lot of his looks, I think, actually came out of the zone and our guys' ability to find him in those situations. But I think against most guys, Jeff's a guy you just got to get his touches. He's extremely unselfish. I think you mentioned tonight, he's literally just going to read the defense. He's not going to just go force a shot, and he's not going to be passive and just pass. He's going to read what's available. He's going to look at his teammates and see who's open. He's going to figure out if he has the advantage. He's going to make the best decision for whoever's the most open, whether it's himself or his teammates. And that's just the type of kid he is. The kind of game he had the other day with whatever it was, I don't know if the stats were 100% right or not, but 14, 25, 7, 5. There's not many guys in the country that are, one, capable of doing that, and two, willing to do it. And Jeff's definitely that guy.
That is all the time we have for Coach Cain.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Tonight for this.